Hello again, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name's Emily and I make lots of arty things. I'm in my second year of university studying illustration and I film lots of stuff to do with that. It's just a good time. It's just a nice time here, so stick around. This video is a little bit of a mishmash of everything I've been up to for the past 4 weeks. I haven't made a video in a while, I'm aware of that, but it's not that I haven't been trying. I kept trying to make a video and then I'd just get overwhelmed with work and then I would forget to film stuff, and then before you know it, 2 weeks had passed and I hadn't really filmed much, so I kept filming little bits, but there was no continuity to it at all. There was just random bits filmed over the past 4 weeks and I was thinking, how on earth can I string this together into a video which makes sense, and I just couldn't. So instead I'm making just a accumulation of all the art I've been up to, I've filmed for the past 4 weeks, and I'm just gonna have a little chat to you guys. I was thinking, what can I talk about for this video, and I was trying to come up with a nice topic and something that I thought was quite relevant because I had a really big, I kind of struggled a lot with the last project I was on, and I was just thinking to myself that my videos never really show the downs. I only ever film the stuff I like, and the way it's edited kind of, not that it's not true all the stuff I'm doing, I do all that stuff, but the videos make it seem like I'm a lot more productive than I actually am, and sometimes I get messages on Instagram and comments being oh, you're so productive, how do you do it? And it's it just looks that way because that's how it's edited, and I just want to be a bit more truthful to you guys that I do a lot of art which I hate. A lot of art I do really doesn't turn out very well, but I obviously don't show that, and I don't want you guys to think that it's just dead easy for me and it comes dead naturally and everything I do is amazing, because it's just not. It takes a lot of failures to get to the things which I'm proud of, and I'm sure that's the same for everyone. This is really relatable. I think anyone who does art has the exact same experience. I'm not unique in saying that I fail and then I have things which are good as well. That literally happens to everyone, and you got to have those failures to to improve and get better. So the failures are good. In the moment they're not good, they're stressful, especially when there's a deadline and it's for university, but on reflection they are good and they're helpful. Just in the moment, not so much. Every single project I do for university has a moment. It's usually before I start the final piece. I have a bit of a wobble. Well, and a wobble is more like a stumble, a fall, a tumble, a stumble, a fall. Sometimes it's a little wobble, sometimes it's a full-on face plant to the floor, especially with this last project. Every single project I have a FaceTime with my boyfriend where I am literally crying because I feel so stuck and I feel like I can't do it and I can't bring what's in my head to life on a piece of paper, and my poor boyfriend just has to sit there and console me every single time that it happens. And then at the end of the project I think to myself, why on earth did I have that wobble? It's fine, all I'm doing is making a pretty picture, and I need to remind myself of that ultimately all I have to do is make a picture. Illustration, it's hard, it's a blooming demanding course, but at the end of the day I'm not having to write a flipping 20,000 word thesis on something brainy and intellectual. I'm just making a pretty picture. So sometimes it's nice to just remind myself of that and stop putting so much pressure on myself, but that's just what I do. Oh, I've completely forgot to talk about what you're even looking at for this video. This is a book cover I made for a project for the Penguin book cover competition. Quite a lot of universities do it, so you might be familiar with it. And I just made it for a book called Diary of a Naturalist. It was a non-fiction book. So yeah, let me know in the comments if anyone else did this, because it's a lot of universities do it, and if you did do it, which book did you do? How did it go? Let me know. Anyway, this is for the next project, which I'm kind of going to talk about for this video. It was a children's book illustration project. We had to make 3 finished spreads, so double page, so 3 double page spreads finished, and then also do a storyboard for the whole book, which was 12 spreads. And my story I was using, we had to just pick something from this podcast thingamabob, so there was loads of podcasts to choose from, and like each podcast had a different story. This is a Nigerian folklore called Why the Sky is Far Away. It's a really cute story. I'll give you a little bit of context just so you know what the illustrations are about. It's the sky originally touches earth, and everything eats it. Like all animals, all humans eat the sky. Like that's the main food, like source of food. And Sky is like a little character as well, and everyone gets really greedy, takes too much. Sky is like, whoa guys, calm down, you're taking too much, you're having to throw me away, you're being wasteful. People listen for a bit but then get greedy again. Sky comes down, gets angry, and is like, right, I've had enough of this, I'm off. And that's why the sky's far away. Also, birds have long legs in the beginning, and birds look after the sky, so as a reward for looking after the sky, it gives the birds wings. So that's the story that I'm illustrating for the rest of this video. Here's my storyboard. I just filmed a little bit of me doing the storyboard. I also, in a little bit, will show you a flip through of the book I made, just putting my storyboard together. There you go, that's the context. Back to the ups and downs of art. I had a big wobble in the middle of this project because I was just so stuck in my head that I wanted the final piece to be gouache, because there's so many artists which I really like who use all gouache, and I keep trying to make that work with my style, and it's just, I always really struggle with it, and I feel like I see art which I like and I'm like, how can I emulate that? And I'll try and it doesn't really work, and then I don't know, just kind of come to the realization in this project that do what I like. Just because someone else does something and it looks really good doesn't mean you have to try and do that as well. So I'm trying to be more true to myself, and for this project, being true to myself meant doing collage. Collage is something which I really, really love, but for some reason was kind of hesitant to use for this project because to be honest, I was quite scared. All my collages have been nature related and just like buildings and nature, so collaging animals and people and the clouds, and it was just like, oh, how on earth am I going to do that in collage? No idea. I was quite scared to do, but it worked out in the end. I mean, the whole project worked out in the end. I just have to have that panic in the middle, which always happens. This is a little flip through of the practice book that I made. I really like the way this turned out, it's dead cute. I'm actually making, for the next project I'm doing, I'm making the front cover for this book and the end pages, so I'm quite looking forward to that. Maybe one day I'll get round to making all the pages in like my free time, maybe over summer, but I don't know, it's a lot of work. Anyway, where was I going? Sorry if this voiceover's all over the place, I'm just kind of talking and hoping it makes sense when I listen to it back. Alright, where was I? What am I saying? What am I talking about? Oh yeah, I feel like I constantly have to remind myself it should be fun, and a lot of the times it isn't fun. Obviously it gets tiring when you're having to do art day after day after day. Like, I cannot wait to have a break. I cannot wait to not do art for a bit. Easter is just around the corner. I've got 1 week left of uni and then I got 3 weeks off. I imagine I will probably do a bit of work in those 3 weeks for this new project we've got, and I'll probably do some personal work, but I just can't wait to have at least 5 days without doing any art. That would be quite nice. Maybe 3 days, although I say I don't want to do art and then a few days passes and I get like this art itch and I just have to itch it and I just have to do art. So I'm here like, I need a break, and then I'll have like a day off and I'll be like, right, I need to do art. Anyway, that's just how it is. Yeah, there's always a way to make a project fun, and as impossible as it seems sometimes when the project is just not going to plan or you're just hating what you're doing, there's always a way to make it fun, and it's happened with every project. Like the one that really comes to mind is I did this project about data, and you hear the word data and you're like, ugh, yuck, that's disgusting, I don't want to do art about data. But it's just, no matter how uninterested you are in the project, there is always a way to make it fun, and the data project I did is like one of my favourite things I've done. And for this project, doing collage was making it fun. I mean, it was fun in the beginning, and then, you know, I was on my 5th consecutive day of collaging all day, and I was like, flipping heck, I'm fed up. I got I got what I'm referring to as collaging arm. I keep saying to my boyfriend that I've got a bad case of collage arm, because basically the skin on the underneath of my arm, because it was constantly rubbing against my leg as I was like moving my arm to reach for paper, the skin went really like dry and cracked, and it like started stinging really bad at one point. So I kept joking that, oh Oscar, I'm getting a really bad case of collage arm today. And I've still got it, my arm's still dead dry and I keep putting cream on. The sacrifices I make for art. Anyway, yeah, there is always a way to make it fun, even if the project isn't interesting in the slightest. Figure out a way to make it fun. And I always forget about that, and I'll be really struggling down in the dumps, and like, Emily, like, I literally decide what I do. I get to decide the media, I get to decide what I make. Like, art is very, you lead it yourself. So if I can decide what I do, make it a fun decision. Don't force myself to do something I'm not going to enjoy. And that's something I need to remember. And I guess there's just a lot of pressure as well. Like, pressure that no one puts on me other than myself. Like, all this pressure is created by me for stuff to look nice. And I guess, especially because what we're doing a lot at uni now is like learning about how to get jobs and like real world applications for illustrations, like illustrations that are for a purpose, like for a children's book, for a book cover, for editorial. Like, everything has a purpose, so we're focusing a lot on like how to actually get jobs. And I guess it's just a little bit stressful because there's so many amazing artists out there. It's like, how can I get seen and how will I even get jobs? So it's like, I've got to have the best portfolio and like the really strong work to be seen and get jobs. And I guess that's also just kind of putting a little bit of pressure on it as well. Because, you know, obviously want to be professional and get jobs and get commissions and have companies want me to do art for them. That would be amazing. And, you know, maybe one day the absolute dream would be to like do an actual book, like be an illustrator for a children's book. That would be amazing. So, and like, children's book is like what I mainly want to do. So I was like, oh, if I fail at this project, then like, this is the thing I want to do. Like, if I fail at this, then that's a pretty big deal because it means I can't do the thing I want to do. And that's just not true. Like, just because you fail on one illustration doesn't mean that's it for the rest of your life. But yeah, there's just a lot of pressure because children's illustration is like my dream. So this was the project for me to really kind of flourish. And if I didn't live up to that, then I don't know, I guess I would have been really quite disappointed. Oh, does anyone remember back in the day when I was doing videos about foundation art, like my foundation art degree, the book I made, Bean and Bog? I made a children's book. It was going to be my final piece for foundation, and then lockdown happened, and it was obviously still my final piece, but then I think I only managed to complete like maybe 4 spreads for the actual final piece. But then because it was lockdown, I had so much free time, I just decided, I might as well just make this book then. So I spent like just a lot of lockdown making this book a reality. And I filmed like the entire process. I think they're still quite good videos, so if you scroll down far enough, I think that it's called Foundation Art or something, or I can't remember what the videos are called, but it's all about this book I made called Bean and Bog. I look back at it now and I know I could do a lot better, but I guess it just means I've improved a lot and I have grown as an artist. But yeah, it's still like honestly one of like my biggest accomplishments, that I actually made a whole book, and it was a lot of work, but especially because it was lockdown, like I had the time. There's literally nothing else to do, so yeah. Let me know if you remember those days, because it means you've been here for quite a while. These are all the finished pieces that I made for the book. I obviously didn't film a lot of it because I was kind of stressed because of the deadline. The camera was kind of doing it dirty, the art, and the colours were just kind of messing up on the camera, so I've also put in the finished pieces just on the screen as well, the digital versions, because it's a lot more accurate to what they look like in real life. So you'll see them in a second. I hope you have enjoyed me rambling on about bits and bobs, a little bit different to what I usually talk about. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and it's made me, I don't know, just showing you a side which I never really show in videos, or I never really speak about in videos, and maybe it's been motivational or just relatable to know that kind of everyone goes through these struggles, I suppose, as an artist. Anyway, I don't know when I'll next make a video. I am off for 3 weeks over Easter. I'd like to make one during that time, but I also would like a break, so it's about finding the right work-life balance. But I think I probably will make one. I'll film a little bits and bobs of art that I do. I am going on holiday to, where am I going? Northumberland, I think. So it could be nice to like film a little bit of that, and then I'd quite like to like film a bit and then make art of the things I've seen whilst on holiday. I think that's quite a nice idea, so maybe that'll be the next thing I make. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye!